everyone, this is Harsh and you are watching WPF World. Many of the WPF World viewers ask how I implemented the command. So I thought I should make one video on command implementation. So let's start it. So I will first create the WPF project. Go to file and then menu and then select the project. Okay. File, new, project, search WPF. Okay. Select this, click on next and let's name it command demo. Okay, click on next. Next I will select .NET 5.0 target framework and we click on create. Okay, you can see main window is created. Now I will change the UI. I will add some of the control in this main window. Okay, let's change it. So I will change it to stack panel. Okay, then I will add text box. I will bind it some of the property called any message. Okay. Okay, and I will set up get source trigger as property change. Okay, and now I will create one of the button control content click. Okay, command I will bind with command, right? Bind click command. Okay, and now I will create one of the text block and I will bind the text with message text property. Okay, this is our UI part. Now let's implement the command. So what I will do, I will create one of the folder called commands. Okay, and here I will create the custom command class. Add and click on class. I will give name as custom command. Okay, so to create the command we have to implement the Icommand interface. Okay, select this one, make it public. Okay, now implement this class, this interface. Here we have two methods, right? Can execute, and one event handler. Okay, so here I will just return for now true. Okay, so first here I will show you the implementation of execute. Okay, so how we can do that? For that we will first create the constructor and pass a action parameter. Okay, which is of type object, because if we want to pass some of the parameter through the command like command parameter, then we can make use of this object. Okay, so you know the action, right? Action is a delegate which is used to perform some of the action. We can pass action from method to method, right? So that's why we use that action and we are passing it as custom command constructor parameter, right? So I will give name it as execute. Okay, and now here also I will create one of the action in this implementation. and we will assign this with this parameter. Okay, we have assigned this, and now once we will create the command, we want to execute this one, right? That action. So we will invoke it as like this dot invoke. So if it is null, then it will not invoke, otherwise it will invoke with the parameter. Okay, so now let's see how to create the command. So I will make a folder for the view model, and here I will create one of the view model for main window. Okay, so I will give name it as main window view model. Okay, so here I will implement the iNotify property change. Okay, make it as public. Implement that interface. Implement this interface, and I will write one method for property change. Here I will pass a parameter called property name. Okay, right, and then we will invoke property change. We can invoke this comma new property change event args, and then property name. Okay, this is what we have done for one property change. Okay, so now let's create some property for the binding things. So I will create the full property of message, which will be of type string. Okay, so I will copy this thing and I will paste here. Okay, and here I have to call on property change. In the same way, we will create one property for message text. This one. Okay, let's rename it. Now I will create the command using this custom command class. So how we can create? We can create the object of the custom class. Okay, custom class, and the command name should be click command, right? And we will say get and set. Okay, and I have to make it as public. Okay, fix this, and inside the constructor of this view model, let's create the constructor of this view model. We will create the object of click command. Okay, here we required one action, right? So I will create one action execute. Okay, create this method, and here we will perform one of the action, like if this message is changed, then we want to show this message to the text block, right? So I will do tell message box message text equal to, I will add some of the text. Your text is message. Okay, now we have to set the data context of main window, right? So let's set it data context equal to new main window view model, right? Now let's run and see what happens. This is what we got, right? So I will write as a WPF world and click on. Then you can see your text is WPF world, right? Means our command is executed successfully. We want to disable this click button if this text box is empty, right? So for this, what we have to do, we have to make it as like whenever that text is empty, then it should return the false. So how we can achieve that thing? So here we have to change the implementation. Again, we can check. We have to pass that parameter. Like as you know, this implementation of this action will be available in main window view model, and we are passing that reference of that method to the command, right? And then it will execute, right? So in the same way, we have to do for the can execute method. What we want to do? We want to pass some parameter, and we want to return some boolean type of value, right? So for that, what delegate we should use? We should use func, right? In func, we can pass object as a parameter and want a return type as a boolean, right? And I will give name as can execute. Okay, same way here also we have to create the func, right? And here we have to assign that the same way, so that once it will call, it will execute. Once the constructor will call, it will assign this can execute, and we can check that can execute, and we can call this. So how we can change this? We can check if can execute not equal to null and can execute call it. If it is not a null, then call with that parameter, right? If it is not null and this method return true, then it will return true, right? Otherwise it will return false. Means that time whenever this can execute method return false, then our button will be disabled, right? So now let's see, here we have to change here as well. Here also we can write can execute, right, and write that method, right? Here we what we will do, we will check for empty, right? If not string dot empty, and then this message, right? Not null empty, right? So let's run and see the result, what will happen. You can see here click button is disabled. So let's write something. It is not enabling, right? Click button is not enabled, right? Why? Because first time once it call, but on change we are not calling this can execute, right? Hence that can execute method will not call. If you can see, let's add the trivia card point and see the what happened. Let's change, nothing happened, right? But if you see on the start, if you run the application, that can execute method will call, right? It's called, right? And this is disabled. Even if I write something, it is not enabled, right? So for that we have to trigger, like we have to tell that execute this can execute method. How we can do that? You may think we can directly write this kind of thing. You can directly call that can execute method right from this setter of this message property. For now we don't have parameter, so we can just pass the null, but if we have parameter that time it will be difficult to know, right? So you may think like this, if we can call this then it will work, right? So let's run and see the result. This is first time, and now I'm going to change some value. This time also it's called right, but it is not enabled, right? So the other way we can also think, like we can use the command, right? That command can execute method. If you are new, you can try this, right? You may think like this and you can call like this, right? So that's why I'm showing both the things. Even if you call that click command can execute method, then also you can observe here, if we write it's called, but that click button is still disabled, right? So how we can fix this? So to fix this, we will make use of this can execute change event handler, right? How we can do? We can call this can execute change. So we can create one method hire can execute change event handler, right? And from here we can call this, invoke this. How we can invoke? We can pass this first parameter as this and the empty event args, right? Event args dot empty. Okay. So now if we call this first hire can execute change from here, then you can see the result. Okay, run this. Now I am going to change some value, right? This time it is calling, and see the result. Click event, click button is also enabled, right? If we click, then we will get the result, right? Now I will try to remove this, means now I am trying to make it as empty. So let's see, this button is disabled, right? So it is working fine, right? So this is all about that implementation of custom command. If you have any suggestion, you can write in the comment, right? And if you find this video helpful, then you can share this video to others.